I am Archon with Press 1 for Fireball, and today I'm going to be teaching Initiative Order, or Combat, Overview.
Press 1 for Fireball.
Let's get started. First, what is Initiative Order? So, Initiative Order is the sequence in which characters and creatures take their turns during combat or any scenario that requires turn based or organized action. This is mostly going to be combat, but some interactions, even when you're just role playing or talking, require order because there's a limited amount of actions each character can take. There's also things like chase scenes, if you're running out of a cave or anything like that, or just anytime your DM or the players need a turn based order, that's when you're going to use initiative. So, the purpose of it, like I just explained, it ensures fairness and structure, allowing each participant to act in a specific order based on their initiative role. So, this is also to help if you have one player who is just too excited and always is the first person to talk, which is great, especially as a DM. You want someone like that. But sometimes to make sure everyone is getting their fair chance or their turn, you'll go into initiative order for things. Mostly, though, it's for combat. All participants act in your descending order based on your initiative rolls. This includes NPCs. Each round in initiative order takes 6 seconds. So 1 minute is 10 rounds of initiative. The actions happen simultaneously in order. So the way it works is everyone takes your turn and it's all happening in that 6 seconds, but it still happens in initiative order. So you imagine it all at once and everyone says what they want to do, and then there's like a cutscene of everything happening all in the same 6 seconds. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is roll initiative, and I'm going to use this example of Grommish, which is the character I have people make when they get their private lessons with me. We go through a character builder so I can help explain the character sheet and things about Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm going to be using him as our example today. He is a level 1 orc cleric. First, some people are sticklers about how you say rolling initiative, roll for initiative, roll initiative. The technically correct and grammatically correct way is roll initiative for initiative. So if anyone's giving you a hard time about that, you can mention that to them. Some people say roll for initiative. I like to say roll initiative. It doesn't really matter, but some people, for whatever reason, are sticklers about it. That is the grammatically correct way to say it, and that's mechanically what you're doing. You are rolling your initiative for initiative order. Let's get into the mechanics of it. It's pretty simple. Your initiative, without other things affecting it, is your dexterity modifier. So you can see Grommish has a dexterity of +1 from his 12 dexterity, and his initiative is +1. So you would roll a d20 and add 1 or your dexterity modifier to it. So if he rolled a 14 on his d20, his initiative would be 15. If you rolled a 16 with your modifiers, you would go ahead of Grommish. If you rolled a 14 or lower, you would go after him. If you roll the same as him, the way you resolve tiebreakers is your dexterity modifier. So if someone had a +3 and they rolled a 12, 12 plus 3 would give you 15 as well. That character would go before Grommish because his dexterity modifier is only a +1. This is similar to, like, I know the Pokemon games do something like this. If there's a tie, it goes to whoever's the faster Pokemon. Now let's go over the structure of a turn. On each turn, a character can perform one of each of the following actions: movement, move up to your speed; action, the main activity you do on your turn; bonus action, a secondary action that certain abilities or spells allow you to take. This is a separate class entirely from your action. A free action, which are simple actions that don't consume your main or bonus action. So these are like speaking or drawing a weapon. And one reaction, which is an action you take in response to a trigger on someone else's turn. Let's get into all of these. First, movement. Again, we're going to use Grommish as an example. Here's his character sheet that I pulled from D&D Beyond. So your movement is you get to move up to your speed in feet. You can see that Gromish's speed is 30 feet walking speed. If you have a flying or swimming or climbing movement, if you're doing those things, it goes by your feet. Otherwise, it's half movement for those. Movement can be split before and after your action, so you don't have to use all 30 as once. You can move 5, you can break it up however you'd like. So, for example, Grommash can move 20 feet, which is 4 squares. Each square is 5 feet. He can attack, and then he can move another 10 feet, since his total speed is 30 feet, which is 6 squares total. One way to get around this is if you take the dash action on your turn, which I go over in a different video, that gives you another set of movement. That's the best way to think of that. So you're giving up your action to get movement again. So in this case, Grommash would get another 30 feet to move by taking the dash action on his turn. Let's go over actions now. These are the things you can do. You can attack, cast a spell, dash, disengage, dodge, help, hide, ready, search, or use an object. These cannot be interchanged with bonus actions. I go over all of these and what each of these mean in another video. It's only about 10 minutes, so I highly recommend you see that one as well. But these are all the things that, with your action on your turn, that you can do. Like I said, it can't be interchanged with bonus actions. This is kind of tough to explain because they're both called actions and bonus actions. But the way I think about it is your dominant hand versus your non-dominant hand. For example, I am very good at writing with my right hand. I'm right hand dominant. I can't write with my left hand. I can do the motions. I can probably get some letters down, but I'm just not as good at it. However, when I play soccer, I kick with my left foot. So that would be a bonus action for me. So that's kind of a way to think about it. Characters in D&D are generally ambidextrous. It doesn't matter what hand they're using, but actions and bonus actions are thought of as completely separate categories. Let's go over bonus actions. The main one, explanation is secondary actions allowed by specific abilities or spells. So these things are going to specifically say that they're a bonus action. The main one that every character gets is the 2-weapon fighting style. This is not to be confused with the dual wielding feat or other feats that allow dual wielding or specific fighting styles. This means if you are holding 2 light weapons, you can attack with your second hand, your offhand. Your bonus action is always your offhand, no matter how you're flavoring it. But you do not add your ability modifier to the damage of that. I'm going to go over attacks in a future video and how you calculate everything to it. But basically, if you're holding 2 short swords or a short sword and a dagger, let's say, again, in my example, I'm right hand dominant. My short sword is always going to be with my right hand, and my dagger is always going to be with my left hand. Now, in D&D, you can change these, so I don't want to confuse anyone. But if I was holding my short sword in my left hand and my dagger in my right, attacking with my first attack is still going to be using my action. No matter what you were using, your first attack uses your action unless you specify it. If I'm losing you, that's okay. The only thing that you need to remember is that actions and bonus actions are separate things. Bonus actions are going to specifically say that they are a bonus action. You can also cast a spell with a time of a bonus action. These are going to specifically say that they have a bonus action casting time. Other abilities, Grommash has 2 actually, such as Aggressive and War Priest, specifically say they allow you to do other things as your bonus action. So example, Aggressive, as a bonus action, you can move up to your speed toward an enemy of your choice that you can see or hear. So if Grommash has an enemy that he can see or hear, he can use his bonus action to get movement again, similar to the dash action. But this time it would count as a bonus action, so he could still attack on his action. Another thing you get on your turn is a free action. Some DMs are a little more loose with this than others. I'm just going to give you what the rules are. I tend to stick to them because, again, using initiative for me is when we want organized stuff. But I let people have fun with it. Sometimes I'll allow them to make a check, especially if they've been role-playing well, and I feel like they're doing a good job with that. But by the rules, you can use a free action to draw or stow 1 weapon or item during your turn, or you can say something in character. So again, initiative order is when you are trying to have turn-based order. So conversations happen in initiative order as well. This is useful for if you as a player or character notice something about an enemy or the environment around you or whatever it is. Let's say you make a check and you see that there's a hidden enemy. You can say that on your turn, but your team can't respond until their own turns. You can speak with your free action. Another example is having your hands empty and drawing a dagger to attack with it on the same turn. You would be drawing your dagger as your free action and then using your action to attack. You cannot stow and draw as part of the same free action. If your hands are full and you need to draw something, you must drop what you are holding as part of the free action. So the way I explain this, if you're holding that same dagger and you want to draw your short sword with the same hand, you would use your free action to draw your short sword, and in the act of opening your hand to draw it, you drop your dagger. For me, I allow that. You can't stow your dagger. Now it's on the ground in front of you. You have to remember to pick it up whenever you want to do that. But that's how I let people use their free action, and by rules, that's how it is. Some feats like Warcaster allow you to manage your items and free actions more efficiently. Reactions. These are actions you can take in response to specific triggers. Generally, these don't happen on your turn. That's just the way reactions work. That's the name of what they are. They are reactions to things. Some of them do, but generally they don't. The biggest one that every character gets, NPCs included, is an opportunity attack. You attack a creature moving out of your reach. So generally you have 5 feet reach, unless you're using a weapon like a polearm that extends that, or a whip. But if a character moves out of your reach, you can attack them. And the way I think about this is a round of combat is 6 seconds. Everything's happening simultaneously, and you are continually engaged in fighting. So think of it like you're trading blows back and forth. If you are moving away from me on your turn, that's opening you up to an attack from me. So your step back is opening up your like exposed section. If you've ever seen like Gladiator or Spartacus, they teach how to prevent this in that as part of their gladiator training. But that's what an opportunity attack is. You only get one reaction per turn. So if the first thing moves away from you, you use your opportunity attack to try and hit them. Anything else that moves away from you, you don't have another reaction for. Specific feats, specific abilities, sometimes specific spells will give you other things you can do for your reactions, but most of the time it's opportunity attacks. You do have to be able to see the creature to use your opportunity attack. Another one I mentioned spells is the shield spell, gives you a temporary +5 to your armor class. That is a reaction. So if you used your opportunity attack already, you would not be able to cast shield as your reaction. So if you're playing a spellcaster or a mixed caster, that's one thing to remember. You only get one reaction per turn. Warcaster, Sentinel, and other feats also give you different reaction options. Ending your turn. After completing all possible actions, bonus actions, movement, and reactions, your turn ends, and the next participant in the initiative order begins their turn. Establishing that you're ending your turn is important. Advanced players and DMs will hold you to ending your turn when you say so, even if you forgot something. This is part of the roleplay and the fun of the game. I personally, it takes me months before I start really holding people to things. But later in the game, when you're an advanced player, you're going to start forgetting things, and that's part of the roleplay of the game, because your DM also forgets things all the time. And generally, you're going to get away with it when the DM forgets things. So that's one thing to remember, is you want to get in the habit of going through all of your things, taking a second to say, okay, did I use my movement? Did I use my action? Do I have anything with my bonus actions? Did I want to do anything with my free action? Do I have a reaction that I can use on my turn? Yes, I've done all of those. I end my turn. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps you with what you can do in initiative order in combat. If you would like any more, visit my website, our website, www.pressoneforfireball.com. Subscribe and turn on notifications for future lessons. I'll be going through all of these. They're not always going to be in order, but they all will be kind of short like this. If you want to get private lessons, get a seat in a one-shot or a campaign, or book a private one-shot or campaign with me, Archon, you can visit our website as well. I am active on Fiverr. I am active on RPG Club now. That's where you can get a seat in a one-shot or a campaign. And I also am working on a couple other things that I'm offering soon. Thank you.